Alright guys, we're going to talk about Canon, but not like it used to be. We're going to get all the movie villains from Dragon Ball Z and pit them together to find out who is the best Dragon Ball Z villain. Let's make sense of it.
Take that.
Alright guys, what's up? I'm Ted.
I'm Josh.
I'm Manuel.
Alright, so the Canon Battle Royale or Gauntlet, whatever you want to talk
Battle
about.
Royale.
I like it. Canon Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. Have the best PlayStation game, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. That's where I got the idea from. But so I got this idea the other day just thinking about it because I've always wanted to go to, because Canon was like sort of the idea, that our first thing we did that I came up with on the channel.
It's basically what birthed the channel.
Yeah, so I wanted to do something more of it because I liked it, because I like talking about that, and we can use this for other shows down the line. And so this time we have Manuel.
Yeah, me, I'm here.
So
he gets to
Manuel-
put his input in.
Yeah,
this
Manuel
time
gets to
around.
have his input. So the way this is going to work is that okay, first of all, Broly's not in this, just like he wasn't in the other one. Broly's already canon. And on top of that, Broly's too broken. So
Yeah.
Broly would have just won.
This is basically everybody that we did a Canon episode on, including two others. One that we decided not to do because there's actually a little bit of a debate whether or not he's canon already, and that's Garlic Jr., but he will be included in this Battle Royale.
Yep.
And then, of course, one that we actually forgot to do, but is kind of irrelevant to begin with, and that's Dr. Wheelo.
We put him in that so that way we could have like a bigger bracket.
Yeah,
But-
basically just kind
But
so he's
and
basically
to be-
cannon fodder for whoever he fights.
And to be fair to you guys,
Yeah, well, so we can actually talk about him. And just
But
let
to
you
be
know.
honest, we actually kind of did forget about him.
yeah, because
I can't believe you guys forgot about fucking Dr. Wheelo.
bro, Manuel,
The
Manuel-
iconic movie villain.
You didn't even think,
Dr.
you
Wheelo.
didn't
Manuel
even know
thinks-
who he was until
Manu-
you looked it up.
Manuel said Dr. Will is going to win it all.
Yeah, whatever.
So
He's the top of the
So the way
class.
this is going to work is that we will talk about a pair each video. So the first episode is Janemba versus Bojack,
Okay.
which is probably one of our best videos versus, like, I think it was
Bojack didn't do too
Yeah,
bad,
but
but
you-
it wasn't. I mean, obviously, Janemba, for the longest time, was the one that held the highest number of views on the channel
Yeah.
until a certain somebody's magic nerd nonsense blew it out of the water.
Oh, God, you just reminded me. I got to do one of those tomorrow.
So the way it's going to work is we're going to discuss it again, but this time we have Manuel, because Manuel might have different inputs and outputs and, you know, whatever.
Y'all already know what I'm about to do.
So,
I'm about to ruin this whole
So
show.
let's get into it.
yeah, so who we want to talk about first? Like,
I say we talk about Janemba first.
Janemba, you want to start off with the strong one first?
Janemba was really strong.
He was, but that could give us ideas on how Bojack might be able to compare up to him.
Yeah, Janemba is the incarnate of evil, so he has like he broke the universes basically in a
Yeah,
sense.
so let's. What exactly happened
So
when he was made?
in the movie, of course, there's the King Yemma has his minions that help him run Otherworld, right?
Yeah.
And so this new guy was training, and he wasn't paying attention. He was listening to his music, and the machine that keeps all of the evil in it
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
purification thing.
broke and ended up swallowing him whole and transformed him into the big fat Janemba. And he was essentially the essence of all evil. And when this happened, it broke the barrier between worlds. So everybody who was in Otherworld could freely come and go in the real world as well. And of course, that led to a whole bunch of past villains escaping into Earth, and you got some kind of, I wouldn't necessarily call them dream fights, but you got some fights there that were entertaining,
I just remember.
especially the Gotenks versus Hitler fight.
Yeah. No, it's top tier right there. Top fucking tier.
I mean, that was just, it's comic gold right there.
Yeah. So yeah. So okay. So he's the essence of evil,
Yes.
Yeah, the incarnate.
born out of the afterlife.
Yeah, all the
Also,
evil.
so all right. So actually, there's two parts to this man. Okay. So let's examine both those parts. He's part essence of all evil, part underpaid minimum wage worker
who doesn't give a shit.
who doesn't care. So let's combine these two things to examine exactly what his strengths are.
Yeah. Have you watched the first one we did, Manuel?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you should have watched the episodes.
Well, I should, right?
Like, come on, you're a part of this show now.
I'm a terrible person.
Well, now you can. So all the
Bro, I don't even watch the episodes I'm in. So,
So he obviously has dimension manipulation. So he could like he could punch through dimensions and he fucked up Goku. That was pretty cool. He made Goku shoot himself with the Kamehameha that was stronger than his. Goku went Super Saiyan 3, and then that's when Super Janemba or whatever you want to call it. Because like the fat one's called Janempa.
Janempa with a P?
Yeah, and
that makes sense.
And the other one's called Janemba, which is the regular one we know and love.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could basically, he's like Full Metal Alchemist. He can make anything out of anything. So he got a toy sword and made it into a humongous regular sword.
Yeah.
And so he can do that stuff. And what else? Yeah, it's just. And yeah, he's basically dimension based. So cause even when he dodges, he turned into Legos, which was so cool.
Yeah, so he is a reality shaper.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like we mentioned in the last one, we really don't get to see how far Janemba could have gone.
Yeah.
Because when he died against Gogeta, he was powering up to a form. Then he not to a new form, but he was powering up his level beyond what he had because he was powering up. And Gogeta even said your own power level will be the downfall of you. And then that's when he hit him back with his own energy. And
the Soul Punisher.
Yeah, and then he used Soul Punisher and it killed him, because that's basically how you kill Janemba, is through purifying the soul in a sense.
Right, because wasn't the Soul Punisher move? It basically the darkness inside you increases the strength of it.
I have no clue about that.
Which is why it's called the Soul Punisher.
Yeah, because it's even changed now. It's not even called that in the Canon Gogeta.
Well, yeah, it's completely different.
Yeah.
But
and then even like we mentioned in the first video, which it's not canon either way because it's a video game, but in the video game for the PSP and whatnot, Janemba actually can basically when you kill, because what Janemba wasn't really that guy. What Janemba was the mist. So it said in the video game that when Janemba's host dies, he doesn't die. He can just find a new host and get stronger. Mm-hmm. So that's why when you have to purify the mist is what kills him originally. Because in the whole game that was based off of it, he kept going host to host, and he really didn't die. So that's obviously not going into it, I guess you want to say, but that's just throwing a little tidbit of how strong he can be.
Yeah.
Because he was originally the mist and not the person.
Right.
So jog my memory. At the end of the Janemba movie, do we see that worker guy again?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He's purified.
He doesn't die.
Yeah,
right.
he doesn't die. He just wakes up and he looks like
he has no idea what happened.
I was honestly just kind of worried that they just straight up killed him, man.
Yeah. No. No, sorry, they're not that.
He's just
evil.
a worker.
That's whatever.
Yeah, so he's pretty strong. We never got to see the peak because his regular whatever power level he was at the time was just killing everyone.
I mean, they already work in Otherworld. I'm not even sure they can die.
Yeah, or they just or like the Otherworld rules. If you die in Otherworld, you're just gone from reality.
Yeah, but they're not dead to begin with. They have no halos.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure.
And when everybody, even the bad guys, when they die and go to hell, they still get a halo.
HFIL.
Oh yeah.
The Home for Infinite Losers.
Yeah. So Janemba's pretty. So we never really get to see Janemba.
Yes. So hypothetically, do you think if somebody else was in that room with the mist that is Janemba, would something else come out of it? Would it be like a stronger Janemba?
I don't really know if it goes off a host, but it could be.
That's never really explained, so it's like we really don't know. We don't know if it has anything to do with.
Janemba's also a Destroyer King. That's a Majin, so he's recognized as that. He's also been possessed by Baby in Heroes, and he's also fused with Kid Buu, which is already too broken to think about.
And if you think about it, though, basically Janemba is a Buu stand-in for the movie.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that we mentioned that every villain in the movies is like
it's kind of like a stand-in for whoever was the villain at the time in the anime.
Yeah, so Janemba had a lot of tendencies that matched with Majin Buu. The regeneration, the manipulation of making anything he wants.
Yeah, and the fact that you had a fat form versus a super form.
Yeah, the color scheme, and
the
color scheme as well. So
that makes sense.
And how it went from talking a little bit to like just nudges and the little things.
Yeah.
But they didn't give him like super cool pants.
No, bro, he had armor, bro.
He basically had armor and horns.
Why are you gonna be scared of someone with pants, bro? That dude had armor and a sword and horns, bro. That dude was Satan.
No, but like Boo was just like
that
gangster,
was a comparison
man.
We didn't make the first time.
Him to being Satan?
With the horns, basically he was like Satan.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like that's obvious.
So he was basically, with the sword, he basically was almost the angel of darkness.
Yeah.
For the Dragon Ball Z universe.
And then even on the wiki page it says that the Janemba that we're talking about right now, the fat one is just like, it's chubby and extremely large. Yeah, Janemba. It's like basically, it's strong. Like it is strong because Goku even mentions it. But it's just like, it's uncontrolled. But like once it lost to Goku, it became into like a more better fighting form. Like it's sort of like it learned from Goku, like it died.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well, evolution, I guess you want to say. And then it like made itself into something that could fight Goku, and it was doing it. So, and even did a good work on Vegeta as well, and Pikkon, poor Pikkon. And then the weakness of it, screaming at it, is what.
Really?
Yes, that's part of what put everything in barriers in Otherworld was Janemba, and Pikkon screaming because he was getting mad at what's his name? The guy who runs Otherworld, King Yama.
King Yama, yeah.
Yeah, he was yelling at it, and then it broke. And then when Pikkon finally fought Janemba, he screamed at it, and part of his face just like broke off, and even Janemba was like, "What the fuck?"
So is he like Venom? That's what he's sounding like, because that's like Venom's weakness too. Is like hypersonic sound.
But no, it was more just yelling at him, like anger. Like that's what broke him. Like, not just like screaming, because I'm pretty sure Goku powering up probably would have killed him.
Yeah.
So that's another thing we didn't mention. Weakness is that.
I don't remember that,
because it's strictly insults. That's what it was. Strictly insults.
He doesn't like to be insulted.
He's got self-confidence issues.
Yeah.
Pretty
What
much.
the fuck do you mean? I'm the incarnate of evil.
That's the part. That's the underpaid worker. That's him.
Oh yeah. If we had a host that wasn't
it wasn't like.
Yeah, that could have been it.
That makes sense.
I see, you told you bring Emmanuel here.
Yeah, we figured it out, guys.
Another notable mention is that in Xenoverse 2, he was a time breaker.
A time breaker? What is that?
Boy.
What does that mean?
He's super uber twice as stronger. Gains glowing pink time breaker symbol on forehead, glowing pink eyes. And let's see what else is there. No, yeah, he fuses with Kid Buu, which is Janembu.
Janembu. That sounds tight, honestly.
Well, he looks right.
I mean, isn't that kind of like fusing with yourself, though?
That is tight.
It is fresh.
That's badass.
Then here's him fused with Baby.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, which is already crazy.
I'll have to find those to put him into the...
Yeah, and then it's just him as the Destroyer King, obviously. Just has the Majin symbol.
Yeah. I've seen all the Destroyer King.
Yeah. So that's basically it.
Okay.
Heightened awareness, tornado creation, full body press. Yeah, all his moves, full power energy, mind break. You can use
He's fucking evil.
Utilized by any king of destruction. The user fires beams from the target, puts them in body's mind control. Super attack. Basically everything. Shape shifting, final explosion, possession, corruption.
Yeah.
Evil stuff.
Corruption.
So that's it for Janemba. So we can go on to
Bojack.
No horse. Bojack.
Now, for Bojack, he was a cosmic evil entity that existed way back before even Dragon Ball started, and was eventually locked away by the four King Kais.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when Goku went and sacrificed himself and King Kai it weakened the barrier that had kept Bojack locked away for all those centuries and allowed him to run free.
Yeah.
And nearly killed Gohan and everybody else.
Yeah. I always liked Bojack. Like, I don't really know. I'm pretty sure I said in the last one. Like, something just about Bojack. Just like, I don't know, maybe because he looks like a gypsy, I guess. With
Well,
all the
that
chains.
and too, you know, he's basically, I don't know if I'd call him because he came right after the Cell Saga, but I wouldn't call him a Cell stand-in.
No,
he seemed more like a Broly stand-in.
I always thought,
yes.
I always thought Broly and Bojack fusion would be like something freaking crazy.
It would be. That'd be tight.
Two buff ass dudes.
But I mean, what would you call that? Because would it be
Brojack.
Brojack?
Brojack.
Let's go.
Super Saiyan. Yeah.
Super Brojack.
Yeah, so, and then the thing about Bojack is that I forgot what his race was. I mean, I'm on the wiki, but just for reference's sake.
Well, it's not like an established race. It's like probably something like
I know, but like
really weird and specific. Like, oh yeah, he blew up his whole planet, so he's like, there's only four.
he's a
of them.
Hera. There you go. He's a Hera. Race of Hera.
You know what? His description kind of reminds me a little bit of Thanos.
Oh
Yeah,
in many ways.
Is that what he was doing?
Yeah, so Bojack, he's bloodthirsty, so like everything, like no matter what. That's why in the movie he was like always challenging you.
Yeah.
No, because like, oh, I forgot what he said. What was that line that because it's my favorite line, even though it's a second. I'm gonna go on our Instagram.
But anyways, so I honestly almost compare Bojack a little bit more to like almost another Frieza.
Yeah.
Just because of the
cooler.
mentality, cooler too. But I mean, he was more along the lines of Frieza because Cooler he wouldn't necessarily sacrifice his henchmen. I mean, he would if he thought it was necessary, but Cooler was more tactically sound than Frieza.
Yeah.
Whereas Frieza, he really did not give a shit about anybody who served under him.
Yeah.
Which is the exact way Bojack was.
So I found out the quote really quick. So my favorite quote from the Bojack movie is when he first appears to like Gohan and them, and he's like, "It's been a long while since I snapped someone's neck."
That's what I was gonna say.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite line.
Yeah, that is our introduction to Bojack.
Down.
Essentially.
Yeah. And it was just so cool because like. Yeah, so he was there and he just like was just killing everyone because like there was no reason why the reason why he went to the tournament where that place was at that Hercule threw or whatever was to find warriors just so he could prove his dominance and kill them.
Yeah.
Like, and then he met Gohan and then that is that. But he has a lot of cool things like his whole race does. I mean,
and then of course Goku decided he was going to break the rules again and save Gohan.
Yeah, who's gonna stop him? I ain't stopping him. He's gonna kill me. Here it's so he is like Bojack. I mean, he is like Cooler and Frieza because he did go and conquer planets for Frieza, right? He did work for Frieza. Remember?
Yeah, I think so. I think we established that.
Yeah. So he did go around and collect planets for him.
But he was a lot more like Frieza because in the end he did not care that a single one of his henchmen were dead.
Yeah. So and then he has a transformation as well. So
yeah.
What exactly is his transformation? Does he say?
It's just
he buffs up.
Is it just a power up? Like he doesn't like
let me see
eat something or freaking.
He buffs up and then he turns like a lighter shade of his color, I think.
Yeah.
He's just Super Bojack.
Well, he goes from like a greenish blue to a bluish green almost.
Yeah, he becomes Bojacked.
Yeah, pretty much.
Bojack. So I can't find it's called full power.
Yeah.
So that's his.
It's just like his full power.
In his full power form, he was able to overthrow future Trunks. This is after the Cell games, right?
Yeah.
So that whole training that Trunks and Vegeta went through. So he's already stronger than that because he overwhelmed Trunks. He overwhelmed Vegeta as well because Vegeta came in.
Right.
And he overdid that, so that's over his power level. Some people do say that he is stronger than Cell or as peak as Cell.
Probably.
Pretty
close.
Yeah. It says this may make him stronger. He's probably stronger than Cell in his perfect form. But he was outmatched by Super Saiyan 2. So this also goes into the being stronger or as strong as Cell.
Yeah.
Because Super Saiyan 2 is what did him in. That was so
Yeah.
strong.
Well, and here's the thing too. When Cell, but here's the thing. So when Cell came back after blowing up, and he achieved his super perfect form, he was actually stronger than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan.
Was he?
Yeah. And it was basically Gohan. He essentially pushed himself so far that he kind of almost achieved the mastered form of Super Saiyan 2, which is what allowed him to launch more energy and eventually overpower Cell. But at the beginning there, Gohan, he was kicking Gohan's ass at Super Saiyan 2 when he first came back.
Yep.
So, I mean, Cell, I would argue that Cell, when he finally died, would still be stronger than Bojack. But...
Oh, it's just called Super Bojack. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So it's basically the Super Saiyan equivalent.
But it was really just another excuse to see Super Saiyan 2 Gohan.
Yeah.
Because in reality, though, because during the Cell Saga, we only got, 3-4 episodes of Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. That was it. That's probably the shortest amount of time after seeing a new transformation that we actually got to see it in action. Because, I mean, Goku, when he first transformed into Super Saiyan, we saw it for, 10 episodes after that?
Yeah.
Because that 5 minutes lasted a long time.
And then Super Saiyan 2 is such a weird it's such a weird transformation, because then immediately after Super Saiyan 3 becomes a thing. So when they first power up, he just goes Super Saiyan, Yeah. And when Super Saiyan's not off, he just instantly normally in almost every fight he'll just go Super Saiyan 3.
Oh,
he was nah, I'm not gonna try Super Saiyan 2. If Super Saiyan 1 didn't work, I might as well go to 3. You know what I mean? He never just goes well, Super Saiyan 1 was enough. Let's do 2. I don't want to push it. I don't want to exert myself and go Super Saiyan 3 right now.
The only one who really did that was Vegeta, but that was because he never bothered to attain the Super Saiyan 3 transformation because he didn't see any use for it. Because of the fact that when Goku achieved it, he can only use it for so long before he actually physically started to permanently damage his body at the time. Yep. Now, by the time Dragon Ball Super comes around, it's completely different, and of course, Goku's had years and years to sit there and practice with it and get better with it, and of course, the more we see that the more you use a Super Saiyan transformation, the easier it gets to use. But even at the beginning of Super, when he first fights Beerus, Goku's like, okay, I can only use this form for a short amount of time, I gotta end this quick. And then he ends up getting his ass kicked and not have to worry about it.
So some notable mentions for Bojack is that he is seen in his opponent's own movie, Fusion Reborn. So he's in Fusion Reborn for a cameo for a second. He doesn't fight anything. He just comes out of hell with Frieza calls everyone out to come fight Gohan.
Oh yeah,
you see him. And a bigger notable mention is in Dragon Ball Heroes, the anime that came out. He's in there, and he actually is kind of stronger than he is in the movie, even though Dragon Ball Heroes isn't canon because it's based off a video game. But just to mention what he could do, is that he beat Future Trunks, which is already crazy, which is like a stronger version of Trunks. He beat
Yeah, because Future Trunks can go Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah, so he go past
at this point.
Wait, no, can he go Super Saiyan 2?
Yeah.
At this point, he can. After the Future Trunks saga in Super, he can achieve Super Saiyan 2 plus what is it, Super Saiyan Rage?
Yeah, Super
whatever
Saiyan
that is.
Rage, yeah, whatever.
Isn't that's his special one, right?
Which basically it's his in between Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3.
Yes.
That kind of utilizes God energy.
Our
Super
Saiyan, our Trunks, like the regular Trunks from Dragon Ball Z, he had
little one can't.
Not the little one. The first Future Trunks.
That's the same one.
Is it
the
same?
Saga.
I thought that was a different
No,
one.
he's the same one.
It's
the same one.
So by the time we see him again in the Future Trunks saga in Super, he's achieved Super Saiyan 2.
Well, because he already had kind of like that an in between form.
Well, he had the Super Trunks, and of course he had the Mastered Super Saiyan, which the Mastered Super Saiyan form would have been stronger than the 17 and 18 of his timeline, because he already said, one of the things that, if you remember that he said, is the 17 and 18 of this new timeline were actually stronger
Yeah.
than the ones from his timeline.
Yeah. So he was able to beat future Trunks, and
Yeah.
he was even after being defeated by Cooler in Dragon Ball Heroes, actually came back and he actually was able to beat edge over Golden Cooler. So he was able to beat that.
Yeah.
Oh, so they
This
did do a
Cooler
golden
can go
Cooler.
golden form.
Yeah. So
That's Heroes, right?
Yeah.
Heroes is that. So the regular Cooler we know doesn't. But
And for those of you that don't know, the heroes he's talking about is not the games or the manga. It's the anime that was, he did. Golden Cooler was in the manga, wasn't he? For that, didn't they do a manga for that?
I don't know.
I know they did like a short mini series anime.
I know that
for
Metal Cooler can go golden too now too.
Oh shit!
Yeah. And then so
Frieza's
That
done.
doesn't make
statements in
Okay, well, I'll save this for the Cooler episode, right? Have all
It's a
those
metaverse.
questions.
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
statements by authors and guidebooks by Takao Koyama, they do put Bojack stronger than Broly from the first legendary Super Saiyan.
Oh,
That
okay.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's just how the dragon, because every movie
Actually, it does make sense to me.
because like every movie, every villain that comes next will be stronger. I know, but we are gonna debate between skills and stuff, because in Dragon Ball Z power levels don't even matter anymore.
Right.
So we're gonna base skills on skills, techniques, and everything, because that's how it is nowadays. If you score by power level, I don't know what you.
But yeah, first movie Broly, I could
movie
say
Broly.
yeah. So because the fact that Super Bojack was actually able to keep up with Super Saiyan 2 Gohan for a little bit, and first movie Broly would never have been able to do that, even in his legendary Super Saiyan form.
Because even in the second Broly movie, he was able to sustain Super Saiyan like Kale did as well, to control it. Because he had speaking lines in that as well.
Yeah.
But then he went into the full rage form, as that we
Where
know.
he still didn't have control
so,
over it.
So if you would say second Broly movie, then no, I wouldn't believe that. But first form Broly, yes.
So did he
And
not
of course,
have
new Broly from Super is just
Yeah,
fucking
new Broly,
stronger than
yeah.
everybody.
So
He
did
killed
Broly?
everyone.
Broly didn't have the true rage form in the first movie, then, right?
No, he
Because
did.
No, because he talked. He talked in that one. He actually was like
Oh,
talking to
yeah,
his dad.
yeah,
and
he
he's
said,
like, he's like, "Oh, where are you going, Dad?"
He's
No.
like, I'm a devil. Yeah.
And he
Well,
wants
he-
other shit. And
yeah, he
he's
said
like,
a
"Oh, what are you guys
few
looking at?
words
Your
here.
planet? Fuck your planet!" And he
Yeah.
blows it up.
Yeah, so those are notable mentions. Let's see. His moves are basically, just simple power moves. I mean, nothing crazy. He do after image strikes and whatnot. He's also a Destroyer King. Just throw that out there for people. And it's crazy because I didn't even read this, but I said it earlier in this episode that basically Bojack's power up is like a bootleg Super Saiyan. Well, it says right here, Bojack's race of hair transformed displayed in Bojack Unbound is similar to the Super Saiyan transformation.
Oh.
So that's pretty funny how I said that. And then I read
And there's
it.
actually
Oh,
one
I-
other
I-
character
I
in that
assumed.
movie that does the transformation as well.
Who?
It's one of his henchmen, but I forget the name of him.
The British guy? Doy.
It's the one that fights Trunks originally.
Yeah, the British guy. Yeah, the one with the goatee.
Yeah, I remember him.
I forget what his name is
I
though.
don't
I
remember.
don't know. He looks the coolest.
But yeah,
Yeah.
he's the only other one to transform in that movie.
And despite him losing to Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and despite him and all that stuff that's going on, they still don't know who would be stronger between Goku and Bojack.
Well, I think at this point it's pretty obvious.
Well, obviously, yeah, but at that point in
At the
time,
time.
At that point in time, yeah.
that point in time,
Because Goku at that point in time hadn't achieved Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah.
He had mastered the first one,
yeah,
and he could obviously he could do the grade. Or do the grades come before the mastered?
The what?
The with Super Vegeta is technically
Oh,
Super
yeah.
Saiyan grade 2.
I don't know.
Do they come before or after? I think they come. I think they come before because mastered.
those forms make them slow.
They increase their power though.
Yeah, but they make them like
And I
super
think the mastered Super Saiyan. Okay, so I think Super Vegeta would be in between 1 and 2 then.
Yeah,
Because the grade 2 and then grade 3 is like they're getting closer to the power level of a Super Saiyan 2, but they're losing that speed that the full Super Saiyan 2 gives them back.
Yeah.
And so Master would come before that.
Because the Super Vegeta, Super Trunks, and then because even Goku had one when he was in the hyperbolic time chamber. He's like, oh, I can do this. So then he gets like fucking like even more jacked.
Yeah.
He's like, but I can't move as well.
He basically shows off to Gohan what Trunks is doing to Cell.
Yeah.
And is explaining to Gohan why it doesn't work.
Yeah, and he's like,
as we're finding this out, as Trunks is literally not being able to do shit against
and
perfect Cell.
Shit kicked out of him. Yeah, so
there's no throughout the movie we really don't see a weakness like Janemba had to be insults like that. But I guess you could say his weakness would be his arrogance, because his whole thing that we mentioned in the Canon episode is that he's brutal. He thinks he's the strongest, and he only wants to be like, oh, you say the strongest? Well, I got to kill you. And then he goes full-fledged into that. Yeah. He'll transform into Super Bojack when he has to show off more. But he doesn't really... I guess he really doesn't assess the danger in it. He just like, oh, dude, you can power up too? Well, guess what? I'm Bojack. I'll go in. So his not addressing the situation at hand and just going full-fledged will probably be his weakness.
I feel like he's got a similar personality to like what Vegeta would have. I feel like it would be very easy to get him into the situation.
You know what?
Like, oh well, I'm still little power. I'm at Form 1. It's like, oh yeah, okay, go Form 2. Let's go. And I feel like he would fall into that and then get his shit pushed
in the original canon, we kind of compared him to a better form of Cooler, because Cooler was already stronger, and he would be like, okay, well, I could fight you in this form. Okay, well, guess what? You know what? It's not... I kind of let you... Because, like, he let Goku go, when he was a baby. He kind of just like, oh, whatever. So, with Bojack, he's just like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to go full out. And then... He'll be like, okay, that wasn't enough. Well, I'll go Super Bojack, and I'll go all out. One like Cooler, he'll be like, oh, you know what? We'll try it out. You know what? Oh, okay, it's getting kind of crazy. You know what? I'm gonna go Super Cooler or whatever. Final Form Cooler.
Yeah, basically, in Cooler's movie, Cooler allowed Goku to go Super Saiyan, which is what became his downfall. Mm-hmm. Bojack wouldn't have allowed that to happen in the first place.
Gohan went Super Saiyan 2 when Bojack thought it was over, because he already beat him, and his crew tied him up, just zapped him and whatnot. He was already done. And then Gohan realizing, my father said that I'm next to defend the world. Like, that was his little speech when he went Super Saiyan 2. Yeah. Then Bojack's like, what the hell? And then he tried to fight him, and he did hold his own. And then when too late was too late.
Yeah, it was really quick.
It was one-sided, yeah. So even if he did hold his own, Gohan just killed him. Yeah. So... Cooler let him go Super Saiyan, and that was what his downfall was. Bojack thought he had it won, and just the determination that Gohan had is what pushed him over the edge to win. Yeah. So that's what you could say that his downfall.
Basically, when Gohan went Super Saiyan 2, he just started killing everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's both characters in a whole. I don't think we missed anything. I think we did a better job talking about them now than we did in the first.
Probably. We were just getting started though. That was something. But hell, for our very first episode to get over 100 views, that was impressive for us back then.
And also Bojack used barriers. That's no big. Yeah. He used barriers. He deflected a bunch of stuff that was shot at him by Piccolo with a barrier. So that's it. That's basically everything.
Okay, so I think at this point, I think at this point all we have left to do is decide who wins, Janemba or Bojack.
We're going to circle. You start, Josh.
Okay, so...
Josh is like, fuck. I didn't want to go
No,
first.
it's fine. But it's like, there are, like, if Bojack were to actually pay attention to weaknesses, I think he'd actually have a fair chance against Janemba. Mm-hmm. But because he's not that kind of guy to do that, he straight goes at you with all of his power at once. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
in
more
a straight. I don't even think he'll run away.
I don't think he would either.
I don't think that kind of person.
But I think in a straight,
I don't think he can against who he's going to get.
Head-to-head fight like that, Janemba wins hands down because he's stronger. And he has, like we said, the power to essentially manipulate dimensions. Yeah.
So
he could literally make Bojack beat himself if he wanted to.
If he wanted to.
I don't think Bojack would have, which is crazy because like I'm pretty sure like Goku at least kind of figured it out. Like I don't think Bojack would have spent like the time or brain power to like
because even
like I'm hitting myself. Maybe I should stop. It's like oh no, I'll just gonna keep going
because and here's the thing too. Even if let's say it's not just Bojack, it's Bojack and his gang
and his rowdy crew.
his pirate.
You know, the minute they try to use the strings to hold Janemba in place is the minute Janemba uses his dimensional distortion to make them grab each other and kill each other.
Janemba was really aware.
I feel like Janemba would freaking eat them.
Yeah. Well, no, I think he would like the minute they would try to use the needle strings or whatever, to hold them in place. He would manipulate the time and dimensions in order for them to slip out of it or make them grab each other.
I'm thinking like he starts to fight his fat Janemba. They try and like rope him, and then he like pulls him into his mouth and eats him,
and then he
he goes into Super Janemba.
Super Janemba,
and then he just beats Super Bojack's ass.
Just whoops his ass.
Now, Bojack might be a different story, but that's another.
All right, Manuel, your turn.
Obviously, fucking Janemba, man. Look at him. I feel like for me, it's just like pure personality. Like Bojack, of course, is like evil and he's an asshole, he's a dickhead, whatever. But Janemba is just like he's almost like an animal. Yeah. And I feel like that does more for him because like Kid Buu was kind of the same way, where he like it was kind of like raw. It was like raw, like fury and just like going at it. Yeah. He like he's one of those people, and so like I feel like Bojack, like obviously he thinks he's hard, and so he has like this sense of superiority, and like that is obviously like a weakness to know how strong you are.
Yeah, you always got to be open minded.
Yeah, and freaking Janemba he just is evil. Like he doesn't have to try to be evil. He just is evil. That's just him.
Yeah.
And so like that'll definitely like win him over in a fight, like just personality wise,
right?
And how things will turn out.
Right. For me, as much as I like Bojack and his mindset of knowing what he has to do to get it done, I feel like Janemba will win. Obviously, not only because of that, because Bojack is evil for what he does, but Janemba is the incarnate of evil. So every evil person that was purified in that thing is Janemba. So he has a lot of evil in him already. On top of that, he had two of the strongest Saiyans. He beat both of them and got beat by their fusion form, which is already crazy to think about already.
And he beat Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
Yeah, and he beat Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
So it's like
he beat
Bojack couldn't even last against Super Saiyan 2 Gohan.
Yeah. So there's a lot for that is to go for Janemba being the winner here. And like he is like I said, like he's the incarnate of evil. So whatever evil you think Bojack is and the way he'll win, I'm pretty sure Janemba will top it because of how much evil he is already more than Bojack is. So there's that. So our definitive winner for bracket 1 against Bojack versus Janemba
unanimously
is Janemba.
It's Janemba. Yeah,
it's Janemba.
So I told you guys at the top of this. I was like, Janemba's gonna win. I don't know why.
When I pitched this idea to everybody, because before I told Josh and Manuel about this idea, I asked my close friends about it, and they're like, "Oh, dude, why would you do that? Because Janemba's gonna win automatically anyway." So
not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
I think we could have a couple of dark horses in here. If we're taking into everything, like even the heroes and stuff, we could have a couple of dark horse candidates that could come up and beat.
I don't know if we should rely too heavily on the heroes.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just using it just for an example of what. Because like a lot of these enemies are rather killed too early to see what they can do, like Janemba.
Yeah.
Or they just don't know what they can do. So those are examples of how far you can go. So if you think this is like a little fun fact, that's why I said notable mentions. Because like Dragon Ball Heroes is not canon already, because that's like
none of these are canon.
Yeah, none of these are canon, but like that sense like the future Trunks.
But that's
thing.
like a.
But
wild...
we are using some canon references, like the fact that of course Gohan can go Super Saiyan 2 in canon.
Yeah.
Goku can go Super Saiyan 3 in canon.
Yeah.
So we're using those as measures for these.
Yeah, just like how Janemba could switch hosts. Like, you didn't know that because he was killed, like, off the bat. Like, Gogeta was like, no.
Well, now, see, that thing, the switching host, though, that one, we'd have to take with a grain of salt because we don't see it happen in the movie. Yeah. We don't see it happen anywhere else that Janemba shows up except for video games.
Yeah, we're just showing you stuff that you didn't know. I mean, we're not taking into the final verdict of it, but showing you how strong they could be if they were let go wild.
Right.
Yeah. So that's
I mean, because those are all like those
like
are all
what
those are all takes on what we were given. Because obviously, Janemba isn't just the ooze. The ooze got into this guy, and then that's the Janemba we have. So it would only you can only assume that Janemba can the mist part of Janemba can get onto other people. Yeah. At some point. So that's not like too far of a leap. Because it is just something we see, and we can kind of draw that conclusion. So as long as we keep it like that way, I'm pretty sure we're staying in the realm of
everything we mentioned is from the movie itself.
Right.
It's from the movies.
And then, like I said, we're using
Canon
references to help establish who would actually be able to do what if they were canon.
Yeah.
All right, so our first winner is Janemba. He advances to the second round.
Yes.
Stay tuned to our social media pages so you can find out who will be the next pairing for round one.
Yep.
And of course, somebody's going to get a bye because there's an uneven amount of villains. And of course, there's. I think
we can tell them the bye already. We already have the bye.
It's Lord Slug.
Yeah, Lord Slug is the bye. So whoever.
So he doesn't get. He gets lucky. He doesn't have to face anybody in the first round.
I feel like this
automatically goes to the second round.
I feel like this kind of not like a good matchup for Bojack. It felt a little unfair.
I mean, when we first heard it was like, I like that.
It sounded good.
And then as we started talking, it was like,
that's the beauty of it, because that's how every argument is until you break it down. Because you could obviously say, oh yeah, Janemba's gonna wash them, but you didn't know this about Bojack, and you're like, oh okay, maybe Bojack can do it. But then you talk about Janemba, you're like, okay, obviously Janemba. Yeah. So that's what I like to, because you go into it, because we talked about the characters itself and how they can be canon,
right?
But we never talked about how they'll fare off against each other if they had a chance to fare off against each other.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of stuff we didn't dig into about that as well. We just talked about what can make them canon in the first place.
Right.
So
like I said, stay tuned to our social medias for the next pairing of round one. We'll get that to you as soon as we possibly can. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Do you agree with our decision on moving Janemba through to the first round? Do you disagree? If you do, why?
Yeah.
Why do you think Bojack should have won? And what do you think of the Bojack Broly fusion, Brojack?
Yeah, Brojack.
I kind of like that.
You hear that, Dragon Ball Heroes? Make it happen.
Yeah.
Brojack.
That's the one fusion we haven't seen.
He's gonna have a Hawaiian shirt on.
Oh my god.
Brojack.
Let's go.
That would be awesome. And then, of course, don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. No more Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. It was just the Facebook page was kind of crappy, anyways. And it was a way to get us started, but now we're moving on from that. We might be starting I heard rumors of a Snapchat. I know I've mentioned it a couple of times.
Manuel's making it.
Manuel's making the Snapchat.
Yeah,
oh boy.
I'm gonna make the Snapchat.
And then, of course, you can always email us at nerdsmakesense@yahoo.com. Please, we would love to hear what you guys want to hear. What episodes do you guys want us to make? What topics do you want us to talk about? So please, let us know that in the comments. You can send us that in emails. I know we don't have a huge fan base right now, but anything from you guys would be a real help. And until the next one, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Goodbye.